On this episode, we answer your questions. Atlas All Access starts now.
From Kirkham at 0450.
Episode 25.
25, we made it.
Gosh.
Quarter century.
Yeah, and so we finally decided to invite somebody that has answers rather than just us.
No, so, see,
Fake
we usually just go to Hannah and she answers the questions.
Right.
And then we come back
and then we come here.
And then we come film it.
And
so
do this, right.
We gave her a chance to come give all her wealth of knowledge to
hang
everybody.
out with us. And,
I'm ready.
Yeah, are
They're
you ready?
good questions,
So,
yeah.
for those of you who don't know, Hannah Bryant, recruiter here at Atlas for how long now?
Solid 4 years, 10 years recruiting, yeah.
Longer than
yeah.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, way before.
Really?
Yeah. Way
Okay.
before me.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Not by much, though.
Nope.
Not by a ton.
Pretty close.
Nope.
So, all right. So a couple weeks ago, we asked for you guys to ask us questions, right?
Yep.
We thought that'd be a fun way to do our 25th episode. Is you guys ask us the questions and then we will answer them. Nothing was off limits. I got a lot of good questions.
Mm-hmm.
We took the ones that were video only because I figured that would look the best.
Just
right?
narrow it down.
Narrowed it down. We've got 4 really great questions. 4 different people asked us. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
You ready?
All right.
All right.
Let's
So
do
the
it.
first one comes from Annie.
Hey Atlas, I'm Annie. I have a question for you. When is the hardest time of the year to find assignments, and when's the easiest time of the year to find assignments? So, like, I always hear summer, there's very difficult to find assignments. There's hardly ever any assignments. And then they always suggest for us to extend to get us through summer. So when should we be looking, and when should we not be looking?
Hands down, hardest time, January. Do you agree with me?
I would say January would probably be one of the hardest. I would think January, and then actually right now May, June, trying to find that summer assignment or stay somewhere, just because census drops with the warmer weather on there. But I think everybody's planned to start in January.
Right. Take the holidays off. Start back up at the beginning of the year. So your competition is 10 times as high.
Yep.
So you got to start in December then. You got to start looking in
Absolutely.
December.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. To lock down the January.
Yep. So I think it's actually very cyclical. Whereas people are looking in December, people are re-looking in February, people are re-looking in May.
Yep.
And then
if you
August.
can fall off that pattern, your odds are better, your competition's lower. And then you have to follow the census seasonally too.
True.
Obviously, we know that goes south in the winter. In the summer months, it goes coastal. So that is where you will see the increase in jobs.
And I think to end it on there is the more open you are to location, I don't think it's hard to find a job.
Yep.
True.
But if you're trying to get to a specific location at
A certain time. Right.
the harder it's going to be. But awesome question.
Yep.
I would say Hannah's right. December, January for those first of the year assignments, and then as census drops in the summer would be the hardest. The easiest time to find an assignment is always going to be October
Right.
for
They're gearing
winter
up
needs.
for their
Bill rates are higher. The number of needs in total are higher.
right.
If you're willing to work the holidays, you're going to get interviewed first. Those kind of things, but
The ramp up to flu season
Yep.
is happening too,
Yep.
right? So, yeah. Awesome. Annie, thank you so much. Awesome question. Next question is from our very own Patty Hagst.
Hey Atlas, I have a question for you. How important are competes and non-competes?
And I'll give Patty a pass on that because they drove for a number of hours, and I'm like, okay, you need to record that question rather than she just emailed it to me. And so then I understand her question is how important what are non-competes? Like
Right.
how important are non-competes? So, and she means for nurses, not for us, like
Right.
as agency people.
sure.
So
It's not something that I encounter often with travelers. I would say as a traveler, your bigger risk is a non-compete with an agency who also acts as a VMS or an MSP, because you would be very limited in the assignments that you're able to take with another company in the future. So if a company has a VMS on a hospital, you're at that position or you're in that facility on assignment with the hospital, I could not place you at any other facility they have a VMS or MSP at. You're theirs. So that makes it really difficult. They back you into a corner. And it does happen pretty frequently in that sense.
True.
I think that's 100% the right answer on there. I think the big thing to note on there is it's a great question to ask your agency. You know, I mean, we've taken the stance, not that this is about Atlas, us ourselves, but, you know, if you need to go take another assignment with somebody, you know, we'll give you your paperwork, we'll give you your drug screens, your background checks, whatever information, that is your information. Yeah, we might have paid for it, but a good question to ask. I think people get caught up on this sometimes, and I could be wrong, but you know, a lot of companies in Omaha, Nebraska is a right to work state.
Yeah, it's not going to hold up.
It'll never hold up in a court of law.
No.
So I'm not encouraging you to go fight your company on that or anything, but I think the moral of the story is to not worry about them as much. I think Hannah's correct. If you're working for one of the major players, you're trying to switch a deal to another company or go to another facility with another company, you might have some red tape on there that you're just not going to get around.
Right.
But on the everyday basis, take it as it is and work with a company that's going to let you be free to make a choice of what you want to do.
And on the flip side, if you're looking to transition from travel to permanent and your agency has a non-compete, most of those are going to let it go too, because it makes them look bad to the hospital. And at the end of the day, that's their client, you're their employee. They're going to do the right thing to save face. So it's a win-win if that's how they choose to handle it.
You know, and I would even flip the script on you, Hannah. I know personally on my desk, I hate trying to flip deals for people. It never works out.
No.
It gets messy.
No.
I want you to be a loyal traveler to Atlas and myself. And if I'm flipping a deal on this one, what doesn't say we have a disagreement about something on a contract, and are you just going to do the same thing? I mean, would you say the same thing as a recruiter?
200%. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me, so I certainly wouldn't want to help somebody else do that either.
Not that it doesn't happen, but it does. And
it has to be pretty. It can't be resolved. That would be the only way I would move forward. Recently, agency lost their contract with the facility. The traveler had to extend with another agency. That's fair enough.
It happens.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
Yeah. You said it. It's an archaic piece of the contract that necessarily shouldn't exist anymore.
And rarely holds up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So awesome, Patty. Thank you so much.
Great question.
I hope you make it to Maine okay. So next question is Lindsay, who runs Wanderlust.
Yeah.
Hey Rich, it's Lindsay and Wiggles. Look. We are in Colorado. You see the mountains behind me? It's so pretty. Anyways, I had a couple questions for you. Maybe you can help me understand, and probably some other people too. What is the difference on the agency side of things with a direct vendor contract and going through a VMS or an MSP? What's the difference with the agency side of things with those? And what should the traveler or the allied health professional, what should they expect to be different as well? Payment, it all comes down to the Benjamins, really. And just in general, can you kind of explain that to me?
I can. That's an easy one, I think. And her dog Wiggles is adorable. Lindsay, your dog
Super
is
cute, yes.
adorable. I think from an agency side, the biggest difference we see is compliance, right? Compliance and then communication too. Payment, honestly,
It's faster.
it is faster. I think there's a very large one that's located in Florida, obviously, that you all know who I'm talking about, who pays us very quickly. They are by far, I mean, we have all our ducks in a row and everything's done right. I mean, obviously we have to do the right things on our end, and it's like that. They pay us very quickly. So that part's great. I think communication between us, because you're adding that extra piece, right? You're adding that middleman, and and compliance.
And when you're talking about communication, I'd even separate the VMS from the MSP. With most MSPs, we are still able to have a direct relationship and communication with the hospital, where with the VMS, it is hands off. If you call that facility, you lose the contract. They don't play around in that sense. So even the difference between those two is pretty significant. And then you've got the duplication. Yes, you're going to have to send 2 time cards. It's annoying, but that's how you have to get paid. Modules, you see those more on the VMS than the maybe, I don't know, maybe equally.
Some things I can think about is interview-wise. A lot of times, obviously, a direct contract, you're going to be able to call an actual hospital contact or possibly have each individual manager's numbers or emails, and profiles are going directly to those people. So those are the advantage of a direct contract. Obviously, if anything happens during an assignment, good or bad, it's pretty easy. Whereas if not, you're probably going through 2, 3, 4 steps on there. So, and money wise, and I don't know if this is what she was getting at, most MSPs and those kind of things obviously charge us a fee. Yeah. So you're taking a small percentage out of the bill rate for each one. So it might be 2, 3, 5% out of the bill rate on there. So a company that is liberal with their bill rates, it's probably not going to be that big a difference between an MSP and a direct contract. Whereas somebody, a bigger company that has some pretty set guidelines of what it has to be every single time, you're probably going to notice a big difference in those pay.
Perfect.
And you will. I think you also have to consider too that when these VMSs go to the hospital and try and get them to sign that contract, they're promising them lower bill rates for the same quality nurses. So they take a cut from us, and they're promising the facility that they're going to save them money. So you will see a difference sometimes in the pay package.
And I'll just add that direct contracts are not very common anymore.
No.
It's just not. And Rich and I have talked about this before.
It's too much work for the hospital.
Yeah, it's too much work for the hospital to onboard the own people. That's why they go to these MSPs or these VMSs, is because somebody else is doing the compliance, the onboarding. They basically send them a complete file and say this person is cleared to work on here. So it's not that they are not out there. It's not very common anymore.
Right. And it goes back to communication. The HR lady sitting at a hospital doesn't want to talk to 50 different agencies about 50 different nurses. She wants one point of contact, or he, sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Lindsay, thank you so much. Then our last question is from our friend Thomas over at Scrub Squad.
Hey, Rich. This is Thomas with Scrub Squad 1978. I have 3 questions for you. The first question is, do agencies get fined if a traveler cancels their contract prematurely?
It's specific to the facility.
Yes.
I know some hospitals or VMSs, if they're given 2 weeks notice, they will waive the fine. If you walk out of your shift and you're like, I'm never coming back, heck yeah, you're going to get fined.
I don't know, and obviously it's agency to agency. If that gets passed on to the traveler or not is another question of answers or not. It can be done different ways and everything, but obviously we're always going to try to avoid that situation. Hey, let's put in 2 weeks. As any job, I understand it might not be safe, whatever. Let's see if we can,
Just, it's being professional.
It's being professional.
You would give any employer 2 weeks notice. It's fair.
As you would any job. I agree. So.
Yep. All right. Second question.
The second question is, what is the most iconic food in Omaha?
I've thought about this, and I don't know.
You see, and Thomas asked because he's coming here in June.
Yep.
So he will be on an episode of Atlas All Access coming in end of June sometime.
19th.
I think you have to go. I mean, you have to go the steak route.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an Omaha steak, and not just I love Omaha steaks. Great. There's some great places around, but you can't go to the big names like Fleming's or anything like. You need to go to the Drover.
You just have to go to the Drover.
You need to go to the Drover. I'm a big Anthony's Steakhouse, old school,
Yeah.
on there.
I love Cassio's.
Cassio's,
Cassio's is by far my favorite.
absolutely. So, you know, I think you would have to just go the steak route. We are a beef, meat and
And then
potatoes.
there is Runza. We have to say
Ooh.
Runza.
Ooh.
I don't like Runza.
Oh, I love
I'm
Runza.
not-
I
nope,
didn't
not
even
a
think
fan.
about that.
Yeah.
People don't know. I just had a friend that her brother for her birthday sent her a 50-pack of Runzas to
Oh,
California.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I didn't even know you could either.
You can mail them?
I don't know if they flash froze them or what they did, but Runza's
guessing.
big thing.
All right,
That's a
Thomas,
good one.
When you come, we'll go
That
to
is,
Runza
yeah.
at least. You'll have to. Or
I'm not going with you.
for those of us from Kansas, Beer Rocks.
Beer Rocks, yes.
Beer Rocks.
They are Beer Rocks.
Anyway.
I
All
don't really
right,
know what
so
that
then
is.
his final question. Question 3.
And the third question is, in nursing school, they taught us, be careful what you put on social media. It's out there. Hospitals monitor social media. You've heard of nurses and other people getting fired from what they put on social media. Do agencies do the same thing? Do they monitor Facebook and say, this is a do not hire list, this person is not somebody who we want representing us, and that kind of thing? I look forward to your answers. Thank you. Bye.
By far the best question so far.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, the answer is, do you have a list? No. No, there's no list or whatever. But people say some pretty mean stuff,
Yeah.
right?
And if it's consistent and it's mean enough,
yeah.
I make as a person, not even a recruiter, I make my own assumptions about that.
Right.
It's
And
not
that-
an agent.
Oh,
it's
no,
not
it's
an
not an
agency
agency
thing.
thing.
It's
No.
a golden rule thing. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
you can.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I Facebook stalk people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just for the pure fact of you can in 5-10 minutes you can figure out somebody of what
Absolutely.
they're doing and stuff.
Right.
So, you know, Rich is right. There's no list or anything, but both of us have been and are
Mm-hmm. Right.
pretty on most of the Facebook pages and stuff. And yeah, do
It would
I?
be the same thing travelers see.
Yeah, do I have a mental?
They notice the same people.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
do I have a
right.
mental note of people I probably wouldn't work with? Yeah, I'm not going to lie that I don't,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I'll give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
Sure.
Once, you know,
I'll
to
flip
prove
it.
me wrong.
You can flip that question though too, and do nurses? Because I've had this conversation with nurses. Do they watch what recruiters say online and then choose to work from there? And their answer is the exact same thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's recruiters out there that are very active in social media that are a little edgier
Right.
sometimes, or have been known to say in closed groups bad things about nurses or travelers or hospitals or whatever, and then those clips come out of closed groups and get posted into
You can
open
screenshot
groups.
anything, guys.
Yeah, that's
It doesn't matter if it's a public or a private group.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. That
It
is
is,
a
it
great
is.
question.
That was not a softball by any
Very
means.
No,
honest,
that
yeah.
was not. But you know, there's some truth in it. I mean, that's what social media is out there. You know, you have to watch what you post. I mean, you just absolutely do, and or what you're. It's not even
Right.
what you post. Sometimes what you're tagged in. I've had to untag myself
Yeah,
from
yeah,
things
absolutely.
before.
That
Of hey, do I want to be
yep.
be a part of this or have this as public knowledge? So.
Absolutely. Yep. Same thing. That's I know.
My rule of thumb with social media: do I want my employer to see it? Do I want my mother to see it?
Yep.
True.
So
So pretty much any picture with Chris Madrigal and I untag
Deleted.
myself because it's not going good.
If you want to see those pictures, I have them on my phone.
because he screenshotted them.
You can message me. I probably took them actually.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, so that was fun. I really think that was great for a 25th episode. For I think we've come a long ways. If you go back and watch episode 1 to where we came now, I think that's a lot of fun. We'll do another one of these question and answer ones here after we move into the new building. On a sad note, this is our very last episode in here, back in our little closet that we have back here. That was the second conference room forever.
Forever.
Yeah, that we just sort of took over, and we jammed a lot of stuff in here in a very
you
short
guys
amount
should
of
see
time.
this room. It's
Yeah, so
hoarder's dream.
yeah, so we move.
It'll be exciting for everybody out there to see the new office. As always, we welcome you to come by and see us and stop in. It'll be fun. It's exciting.
It's awesome. Yep.
Third office for us, Hannah.
Yeah.
How do you feel
I
about
just
that?
went there today for the first time.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it before. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So all next week we won't have our regularly scheduled pieces like we normally do. We're going to do some super raw video of us moving to the new office. The podcast next week will be a fun blooper reel of from the very beginning up through now, right? I mean, even up before we started, we have a fun blooper of Hannah here. So it'll be a fun blooper reel of this room and the fun that we had in here. So I don't know, from this old office or from this old building to the new one. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.